Hello, my might dear. You ever get that feeling that something's happening behind the scenes? Something you can't quite see yet. It's like the world's been whispering about you when you're not around. You think you're alone, forgotten, maybe even replaced. But somewhere, someone's moving pieces you don't even know exist. Not out of pity, not out of obligation, but because they see you. They see something in you that you stopped seeing in yourself. While you're busy doubting, they're planning. While you're standing still, they're making a bold move for you. Not all battles are fought in front of you. People think life is all about what they can see, what they can touch, what they can control. They believe every fight happens in the open, loud, obvious, dramatic. But the truth is, most of the real wars happen in silence, in whispers, in places you'll never notice until it's already done. While you're busy thinking no one cares, someone somewhere is fighting for you in ways you'll never understand. That's the thing about unseen battles. They're real, they're raw, and they're never recognized. You see, not every act of love looks like affection. Sometimes it looks like distance. Sometimes it looks like someone defending your name when you're not there. Sometimes it's someone holding back their anger just to protect your peace. The world only sees what's loud, what's shiny, what's easy to post about. But the quiet battles, the ones fought in the dark, behind closed doors, between conscience and chaos, those are the ones that matter. Those are the ones that change things. There's a kind of person who won't let you fall, even if you think you already have. They don't do it for attention. They don't announce it. They just act. They step in where you can't. They protect what you can't see, fix what you don't know is broken, and carry what you're too tired to lift. You'll never see the scars they earn doing it. You'll never hear the arguments they've silenced or the sacrifices they've made. Because the point was never to be seen. The point was to keep you standing. It's strange, isn't it? We live in a world obsessed with visibility. Everyone wants credit, validation, applause. But the ones who fight your hidden battles don't care about that. They don't need to be thanked. Their reward is in knowing you're okay, even if you never know why. That kind of strength, that quiet courage, it's rare. It's not the kind that shouts. It's the kind that bleeds silently, smiles anyway, and walks away before anyone can notice. Sometimes you think no one's on your side because no one's saying it out loud. But the truth is, words are cheap. The real ones don't talk. They act. They make decisions you'll never hear about. They stand between you and the storm while pretending they're not even there. You might think they've left you, but really, they're just making sure the fire doesn't reach you. That's what real loyalty looks like. Unseen, unspoken, unstoppable. The funny thing is, you'll probably never know who all those people are. Maybe it's someone you underestimated. Maybe it's someone you forgot. Maybe it's someone who can't even tell you what they're doing. That's the beauty and the tragedy of it. You only realize how much they did when it's too late. when the noise quiets down and you start to connect the dots. You start to see the little moments, the times you were spared from something, the times things worked out just in time. And you wonder, was that luck, or was someone quietly fighting for me? You might think you're alone in your war, but you're not. There are people who care in ways they can't show. People who see your pain, even when you hide it behind jokes and forced smiles. They might not say much, but their silence isn't ignorance. It's strategy. They're watching, waiting, choosing their moment to act. Because real defenders don't need an audience. They move when it matters most. The world doesn't celebrate these kinds of battles. It doesn't reward unseen effort. But those quiet wars, the ones fought in shadows, in patience, in restraint, they're the foundation of everything that survives. Every strong person you've ever met was built on the sacrifices of someone who refused to let them fall. Every bit of peace you've ever felt was bought by someone else's storm. You don't see it, but it's there, right beneath the surface of everything good that's ever happened to you. Maybe the world would be different if people valued invisible strength as much as visible success. If they understood that some of the most powerful things ever done for them were done without their knowledge. Because sometimes the real heroes aren't the ones standing in the light. They're the ones making sure the light stays on while everyone else sleeps. They're the ones fighting battles no one will ever thank them for. Not all battles are loud. Not all battles are visible. But every unseen battle leaves a mark. Not on the world, but on the soul. Someone, somewhere, is fighting for you right now. Not for recognition, not for glory, but because they believe you're worth it. And even if you never find out who they are, you've already felt the effect of what they've done. That's the truth most people never see. Not all battles are fought in front of you. Some are fought for you, in silence. Someone believes in you when you don't. It sounds simple, but it's not. Because when you're at your lowest, when everything inside you is cracked, the last thing you can do is believe in yourself. You start to see failure in every reflection, doubt in every breath. You convince yourself that you're done, that whatever strength you had is gone for good. And yet out there, in a corner you don't notice, someone sees something else. They see the version of you that you've forgotten. The one that still fights, still hopes, still burns beneath the ashes. You see, belief isn't always loud. It doesn't always come with cheering or encouragement. Sometimes it's silent, patient, almost invisible. It's in the person who keeps checking on you, even when you push them away. It's in the eyes of someone who looks at you like you're more than the mistakes you've made. It's in the quiet voice that says, "You'll get through this." Even when you don't answer, they don't see you for who you are in the moment. Broken, tired, lost. They see who you could be if you just kept going. The world is full of people waiting to doubt you. They're loud. They're everywhere. They feed off your uncertainty. But then there are the rare few, the ones who choose to believe. Not because of what you've shown them, but because of what they feel about you. They can sense that under all the disappointment, there's something unshakable. Something that just needs a spark to come back to life. Those people, they don't need proof. They just need you to breathe. When you've given up on yourself, their belief feels uncomfortable. It feels wrong, even insulting. Because how can they see light in you when all you feel is darkness? How can they talk about hope when you've already buried yours? That's what belief does. It annoys you before it saves you. It challenges the version of yourself that wants to stay broken. It refuses to accept your excuses, your hopelessness, your surrender. It keeps showing up, reminding you of a strength you swore was gone. There's something powerful about being seen through someone else's eyes. You start to borrow their vision, even when you don't want to. Their faith starts to echo inside your head until slowly, quietly, you begin to wonder, maybe they're right. Maybe you're not finished. Maybe you've just forgotten how strong you were. And that small thought, that tiny flicker of belief, is enough to start everything again. It's fragile at first, almost ridiculous, but it grows. Because belief spreads like fire. It doesn't need much to start, just someone willing to strike the match. Sometimes that person is a stranger. Sometimes it's someone you lost touch with. Sometimes it's someone you pushed away because you couldn't stand being seen when you felt unworthy. But they keep believing anyway. They see the cracks in your armor and call it character. They see your past and still talk about your future. That's what makes them dangerous to your despair. They don't play by its rules. They refuse to see the end where you do. And maybe you'll never understand why. Why someone chooses to believe in you when you've done nothing to earn it. Why they keep showing up when you keep failing. Maybe it's not about you at all. Maybe they've been where you are. Maybe they've tasted that same hopelessness and know what it feels like to be unseen. Maybe they remember the one person who believed in them when they didn't, and now it's their turn to return the favor. That's the beautiful cycle of belief. It never starts or ends with one person. It passes on, one broken soul to another. It's funny how you can stop believing in yourself and still be carried forward by someone else's faith. You don't even have to understand it. You just have to let it hold you up for a while. Because belief isn't about perfection. It's about possibility. It's about someone looking at your mess and saying, that's not the end. And when you've heard that enough, when it's been repeated in enough small, quiet ways, you start to whisper it to yourself. You start to rebuild. The truth is, you'll never know the full impact of someone's belief until you look back and realize it saved you. It's the kind of thing that works in silence, unnoticed, until suddenly you're standing again, breathing again, feeling something again. And then it hits you. You didn't get up on your own. Someone believed in you when you didn't. Someone saw light when you only saw darkness. Someone refused to let you end your story before it was time. And that's why belief matters. Because sometimes it's the only bridge between who you are and who you're meant to be. Hidden loyalty exists in silence. That's the kind of loyalty the world doesn't talk about anymore. People today like to make noise about everything. Love, friendship, support. They post it, perform it, package it like it's something to sell. But the real ones, they don't say a word. They don't need to. They're the ones who stand behind you when no one's watching, who protect your name when you're not around to defend it. They don't announce their loyalty because it's not a show, it's a choice. A quiet, dangerous kind of devotion that doesn't ask for recognition, only truth. You see, silence has weight. It's heavy with intent. The ones who are loyal in silence, they don't need credit or gratitude. They don't care if you never find out what they did for you. They do it because something in them won't let them do anything else. Because even when you don't deserve it, even when you've disappointed them, even when you've changed, they stay loyal to the version of you they still believe exists somewhere deep down. That's the kind of loyalty you can't buy, can't beg for, can't fake. Most people think loyalty means being loud, defending someone in public, showing affection, making promises. But real loyalty doesn't make noise. It's not about grand gestures, it's about quiet consistency. It's about the person who doesn't join in when others talk behind your back. It's about the one who remembers your pain, even after you've stopped mentioning it. It's about the one who chooses to understand you instead of judge you, even when you're hard to love. Hidden loyalty is dangerous because it's pure. It doesn't depend on rewards or outcomes. It's loyalty born out of connection, not convenience. And that kind of connection doesn't die easily. You could walk away. You could fail. You could fall apart. And still, there's someone who keeps you safe in ways you'll never see. Someone who guards your name, your story, your memory, as if it's their own. You might think you've lost everyone, that no one's standing by you anymore. But sometimes loyalty hides in the shadows, watching, waiting. It doesn't always show itself when you want it to. It works quietly, protecting you from things you'll never know about. People who have this kind of loyalty, they fight your unseen battles, they take hits you'll never feel, and they do it without a sound. That's not weakness. That's strength disguised as restraint. It's strange how we value words more than silence. Someone says, "I've got your back," and we believe them. But words are cheap. Anyone can promise loyalty when times are good. Real loyalty shows itself when everything's falling apart. When there's nothing left to gain. When staying costs more than leaving. The ones who stay quiet during those moments, the ones who still protect you without needing to be seen, they're the ones who mean it. The silent ones, they don't need to announce their loyalty because they've already proven it through action. They're not doing it to impress you or win your approval. They're doing it because loyalty isn't about you. It's about who they are. It's built into them. That rare instinct to protect what they care about, even if it hurts. even if it costs them something. Sometimes you'll only notice their loyalty when it's gone, when you start to wonder why things feel colder, heavier, quieter. That's when you realize how much someone's silence had been shielding you all along. How many storms you never saw because they were standing in the way, taking the hits. And when you finally see it, it breaks something in you. Because you understand that loyalty like that doesn't come twice. The world has forgotten the value of silent loyalty. Everyone wants credit, applause, proof. But the truth is, the most loyal people are invisible by choice. They don't need the world to know. They just need you to be okay. They care more about your peace than their pride. They'd rather keep you safe than be praised for it. That's why you never see them coming. Because they're not performing, they're protecting. And maybe one day, you'll understand the power of that kind of loyalty. The way it doesn't demand attention, the way it doesn't shout or plead. It just stays, quietly, steadily, through distance, through doubt, through time. It's the kind of loyalty that doesn't fade when you fail, that doesn't disappear when you disappoint. It stays hidden, but it's always there. In the silence, in the spaces between words, in the moments you thought no one cared. Hidden loyalty doesn't need to be seen to be real. It doesn't need validation to exist. It lives in the quiet choices people make when no one's watching. It's not loud, not dramatic, not poetic. It's simple. Someone somewhere still choosing to stand for you, not because you asked, but because they decided you were worth it. Support often moves in shadows, not spotlight. People think support means standing next to you, cheering you on, making noise so everyone knows they care. But real support, the kind that actually matters, rarely looks like that. It hides. It moves quietly, behind the curtains, unseen and unappreciated. It's not about being noticed. It's about making sure you don't fall when the world stops watching. Because the truth is, not everyone who claps for you wants you to win, and not everyone who stays silent is ignoring you. Some are just busy holding up the ground beneath your feet. You see, the loud kind of support. It's easy. It's performative. It looks good, sounds good, makes everyone feel good. But the quiet kind, the kind that doesn't come with applause or validation, that's the one that keeps you alive when everything else crumbles. That's the one that listens when you can't speak, that helps without asking, that protects your name when others are tearing it apart. That kind of support doesn't announce itself because it doesn't need to. It's not there for recognition. It's there because someone cares. Sometimes you'll never know how many people have helped you in ways you'll never see. The friend who spoke well of you in a room you weren't invited to. The one who kept believing in your potential when you stopped showing it. The one who prayed for you when you didn't even believe in anything anymore. That's the shadow work of support. Invisible, thankless, but powerful. It's not about presence, it's about impact. And it's usually done by the people who expect nothing back. Support in shadows doesn't mean absence. It means protection. It means someone is watching over you from a distance, making sure the wrong hands don't touch what's meant for you. It means someone sees the war you're fighting in silence and decides to fight beside you. Quietly, without a banner, without a speech. That's why you'll miss it if you're only looking for the loud kind. You'll think no one's there, when in reality, someone's been covering you the whole time. There's something sacred about that kind of support, because it doesn't crave the spotlight. It doesn't compete for credit. It doesn't need to be seen. It's pure intention. It's built on care, not ego. It's the person who remembers your worth when you forget it, who defends you when you can't defend yourself, who forgives your distance because they understand your silence. They don't ask you to perform strength. They let you fall apart and still hold space for you. And that's the thing about shadows. They move quietly, but they're always there. You may not notice them, but they follow you, protect you, shape you. The loud ones might come and go, but the shadows stay. They see your worst moments and still choose to stay behind you, carrying pieces of your burden without telling you. That's not weakness. That's loyalty in its rawest form. The world teaches you to look for validation in attention. If no one's shouting for you, it must mean no one cares. But that's a lie. The truest forms of care are the ones that stay silent because they don't want to interrupt your process. They don't need to take up space to be real. They just want you to get through the storm, even if it means getting no recognition for standing in the rain with you. The ones who support you in shadows are the ones who see beyond appearances. They don't care about your victories as much as they care about your survival. They're not interested in taking credit when you rise. They're just happy knowing you made it. And maybe you'll never know what they did for you. Maybe you'll never see the battles they fought behind the scenes. But they didn't do it for thanks. They did it because something in them refused to watch you fall without trying to help. There's a strange beauty in that. People who love you quietly, who stand for you without demanding attention. It's selfless, almost tragic in its simplicity, because while the world celebrates the loud supporters, these quiet ones stay hidden, forgotten, unacknowledged. But that doesn't stop them. They don't measure their worth by your awareness. They just keep giving, protecting, showing up in ways you might never see. And maybe that's how real support is supposed to be. Unseen, unspoken, but unbreakable. It's not the crowd chanting your name. It's the whisper that tells you to keep going when no one else does. It's the person who checks on you after the noise dies down, who still sees you when everyone else has moved on. That's support in its truest form. Not performed for the spotlight, but lived in the shadows, where it matters most. Every ending hides a new beginning. People hate endings. They treat them like death, like loss, like something that steals the meaning out of everything that came before. But the truth is, endings don't destroy you. They reveal what's left after everything fake has fallen away. The job that fired you, the person who walked away, the plan that failed. They all felt like the end, didn't they? Like the curtain closing on the only story you knew. But the thing about curtains, they don't close forever. Sometimes, they're just hiding the next scene being built in the dark. You see, endings have a way of stripping you down to nothing. They take away your comfort, your rhythm, your illusion of control. They leave you standing in the wreckage, staring at what's left, and that's when you finally see the truth. That maybe it needed to end. Maybe it was never meant to last. Maybe you were holding onto something that was quietly killing the parts of you that were meant to grow. Because sometimes, the thing you thought would save you was the very thing holding you back. Everyone wants new beginnings, but no one wants the destruction that comes before them. You can't build something real without burning something old. That's the cruel, beautiful balance of life. Creation and collapse, beginning and ending, joy and pain, all dancing together like they've rehearsed it 1,000 times. The world doesn't ask if you're ready. It just takes what's no longer meant for you, and you call it loss. But maybe it's just clearing space. Maybe the universe can't hand you something new while your hands are still gripping what's already gone. Endings feel cruel because they don't ask for permission. They just happen. One day everything makes sense, and the next it doesn't. People leave, doors close, the music stops, and you're left wondering what went wrong. But maybe nothing went wrong. Maybe it's just the way life moves. Always forward, never still. Maybe the ending isn't punishment, but redirection. Maybe it's the world whispering, "You've outgrown this." There's something raw about the moment after an ending. It's quiet, almost too quiet. No noise, no purpose, just silence and space. And in that emptiness, most people panic. They rush to fill it with something. Anyone, anything. Just to feel alive again. But the brave ones, the ones who truly rise, they stay in that silence. They sit with it. They let the ashes settle before they start building again. Because they understand something most people won't. That the end isn't a wall, it's a door disguised as one. Every time something ends, it takes a piece of you with it. And that's the point. The version of you that fit into that story doesn't belong in the next one. You have to lose parts of yourself to make room for what's coming. It's painful, but necessary. Growth always demands a sacrifice. You can't move forward while dragging your past behind you like a corpse. You have to let it die. The comfort, the familiarity, even the identity that came with it. Because who you were then isn't who you need to be now. Endings also expose people. You see who truly cared and who was just passing time. When the lights go out, the actors leave. But the real ones, the ones who were there for you, they stay. They don't need the performance to keep showing up. And maybe that's another gift of endings. They filter out the noise, the temporary, the hollow. They leave behind only what's real. It's strange how something that feels like loss can be the best thing that ever happened to you. Because one day, when you've walked far enough past the pain, you'll look back and realize that what ended wasn't your story. It was just a chapter. The book was never done. You were just stuck rereading the same page, afraid to turn it. And when life finally ripped it out of your hands, it hurt, but it set you free. That's what endings do. They force you to start again, to rebuild, to remember what it means to begin. They don't destroy your story, they reset it. They give you a chance to create something cleaner, truer, something that actually fits the person you've become. And it's not supposed to be easy. It's supposed to break you just enough to make you question everything, but not enough to kill your spark. Because that's where the new beginning hides. In the ruins, in the quiet after the collapse. In the moment you finally stop fighting what's gone and start noticing what's still here. You might not recognize the new beginning at first. It never arrives with confetti or fireworks. It slips in quietly, disguised as ordinary days, small moments, second chances. It starts with a breath that doesn't hurt as much as it used to. A smile that feels less forced. A morning where you wake up and realize you're not thinking about what ended. You're thinking about what's next. That's the start. That's the hidden magic of every ending. It doesn't close your story. It clears the page so you can finally write the next one.